Good day, my friends, and welcome to this thing of ours. I hope you are with me, and I hope I am not frozen. There we go. The most important thing in the world, I don't know why this is acting like this. Let me see if I can shut some things down, which might help tremendously. The most important thing in the world for you and me and everybody to grasp, there we go, try this. The most important thing for us to grasp and to understand. Am I frozen? Can you see me as frozen? Does this am I coming through here? Maybe I'm okay. I don't know. I see myself as frozen, and that's not a good thing. Hang on a minute. Let me see. So let me go back to this. I'll go back to that. Do this one day and find out for yourself. Yep, I'm frozen. That is the strangest thing. There we go. Maybe I'm moving. Hang on a minute. Let me see if I'm moving now. I'm moving. Am I moving okay? Yeah. Am I moving? I'm frozen. I'm fine now. Nope. I'm frozen. Hang on a second. Why am I frozen? Let me see this. Let me try this again. Let me try this. This is the oddest thing. Is that better? Okay, good. I don't know what that was. Are we okay? Give me a 5 by 5. Okay. Let me start off by what I was trying to say. The most important thing that you can do in your life is to make somebody do something or think something or act in some particular way. Giving somebody knowledge just for the sake of knowledge, that only works in academia. Think about that. That's what a degree is. You give somebody a degree, say philosophy, and they take it and nothing happens. We're doing this again. Hang on a second. Let me close this down, and this down, and this down. Let me see if that makes any sense. Okay, maybe that's it. There's a lot of computer use, and I'm going to get to the bottom of this. This is what life is. Shut down. When you're unable to handle things, shut down Windows, shut down programs. Take back. You don't need to drink anything. Just shut things down. Focus on something else. I don't want to spend my life in this realm doing something if nobody's going to act upon it. If nobody's going to vote, get mad, tweet, say something, move, I don't want to do that. Unless, there's something, unless it becomes so lucrative just to tell people things that they really don't care about. Because you see, if I don't get you to vote, if I don't get you to do something, then I'm just kind of wasting my time. I'm just filling you in with more lore, more stuff to understand. And in order for me to do what I'm doing, I have to be able to explain to you why it is you should get upset about something and why you should do something about it. Which leads us to July the 19th, 2 weeks from yesterday at the cutting room. That's what that is. This may look like some kind of it's a comedy event. It's stand-up. I hate that. I hate that. You know this guy Dave Smith? He's becoming one of the most important people ever, and he was supposedly a comedian. Joe Rogan is one of the most important people, and he is supposedly a comedian. George Carlin was one of the most important. Lenny Bruce and Dick Gregory and others. I'm not trying to put myself in the category, but what I'm saying to you is that on July the 19th at the cutting room, I'm inviting you. Tickets are available. Join not only me, but fellow patriots, fellow like-minded members of the conspiratorium. Okay? July the 19th, tickets are there. I want to see you. I want to see you and I want to meet you. Okay? That's it. It's a great way to pick up. I know summer's fun in this, but there's nothing fun like thinking and being a part of a movement and a celebration. July 19th, cutting room, tickets available. I pinned it here for you, and it's at the top of the discussion section. 3 things are going on in my head today. Number 1, geoengineering. 1 o'clock Monday morning, tomorrow, tonight, 1 a.m. Eastern time, whatever that is, wherever you are. Dane Wigington, Sir Dane Wigington. I will have him on WABC for the full hour, and we're just gonna go through this, and I'm gonna just unleash and unload. That's important. That's tonight. Because yesterday, with Marjorie Taylor Greene, Florida, President Trump, Alex Jones, we're finally getting to a head. And if she can get laws to be passed, then something will be done for that. That's number one. Number two. In my lifetime, I am actually seeing something change before my eyes. And that is the public's appreciation for the support, the unconditional support of Israel. I like it. Sparky says, don't miss it, be there. Thank you, Sparky. And Sparky will attest to what I'm saying. I never thought I would ever see before my eyes the drastic change in public perception, both not so much governmental, but just in terms of public, and the political implications of supporting Israel like I'm seeing now. Never thought it. That's number two. And number three, how we are maybe getting to a realization that your government, your CIA, murdered JFK. But getting people past the into the action is another story. Going back to the Israel, I've never seen anything like this. Let me just say something to you. Irrespective of what you believe, I look at this just as a topic. For the longest times, what was called AIPAC, people kind of knew about it, but didn't really understand it. The American Israeli Public Affairs Committee wasn't even a political action committee. And we knew that they had a tremendous lobby. But that's not against the law, because NRA had a lobby when they were something. Big Tech has probably the biggest one. Big Agra, Big Pharma. There's lobbies everywhere. How do you think we got the Rona, the vaccines through? How did Pfizer? That's nothing but lobbying. That's money. That's billions. So there's nothing new to that. So when you say Israel has a lobby, I'm sorry. Who doesn't have a lobby? Nobody. Everybody's got a lobby. Okay. But the proponents of it were never challenged. If you tried to do the mRNA vaccine today, knowing what we know now on social media, forget it. Now, remember, social media, and I knock wood or knock something or whatever it was. There seems to be a, I guess you would say a kind of a, not hands off, but an allowance. Maybe because of Trump, maybe because times have changed. I don't know why. I have no idea. But we're able to say things about vaccines and about viruses and COVID that we never were allowed. If you tried that again today, Fauci would be, but it was hands off. It was hands off. You didn't dare say anything. They knew better. So that's why this stuff happened. So now in the world of this, they had these folks who are the part of the Israel lobby. I guess you would call the Israel lobby. I guess, or whatever the hell you would call this. And one is a British barrister, Oxford. She's a barrister, and I mean, she considered herself the smartest, of the smart. By the way, George Haddad gifted 10 Lionel Nation membership. Georgie, thank you, my friend. Thank you, good, kind sir. She thought, and Sparky will tell you, I don't know her name is, but you've seen her. She thought, I'm a genius. I speak with a clipped, posh British accent. And up till now, because I represented Israel, nobody touched me because that was the third rail. You're dead. You're dead. We don't even say that word. We don't say the I word. We don't say it. Okay? Okay, fine. We don't say it. Got it? Got it. You know what I'm saying? Enter the fray. Dave Smith. Who's Dave Smith? It's funny, all of a sudden, boop, boop, somebody just pops out of nowhere. Who is he? Must be like Revolutions. Che Guevara. Who's this guy? Who's this guy? Dave Smith. He's become the voice of, and because of his comedic chops, maybe taking the stage, knowing theater, knowing how to deal with a heckler, but whatever it is, he is the voice of this. And there was on to the end, and Piers Morgan, who is the scavenger. Piers Morgan is the vulture. He only swoops in when the issue's dead, when it can't fight back. Remember, vultures are cowards. They never get into it. They just want to wait till somebody else has killed it, and then they move in. That's Piers Morgan. He's a scavenger. He's no balls, no brain. He's been pushing this, I'm British and I'm smarter than you. Really, seriously, people think I'm saying that, and I'm kidding. I'm telling you this, God's honest truth. So recently, we're watching this, and people are being held, they're just laughed at. And you're getting these obnoxious, and listen, there's the quote, pro-Palestinian, Mehdi Hassan is obnoxious. He can be right, but his contumacy, his personality is horrible. But anyway, all of a sudden, people are saying, what's this? And a lot of people are saying, these are our representatives? Yes. Why? They never had to fight back. It reminds me of the time, it reminds me of when after the talkies were introduced, a lot of ventriloquists, a lot of silent movie people had thick accents, German accents or Romanian accents, or Rudolph Valentino you couldn't even understand him. But he couldn't speak because we're now in talkies. Now we're finding out that the people who were for the longest time, who had the easiest job in the world, spokesman, nobody ever challenged him. Well, now we're being challenged, and on a platform that loves when somebody is destroyed. When the glasses come and the cigarette or whatever it is, the crip walks on. You know the theme. Whenever somebody has a mic drop or whatever it is, it's pow. So the reason why I'm bringing it up is I'm seeing it change now. And there's one step further. One thing. And when this happens, it's all up. It's when somebody says, okay, force field is off. Okay, protection is off. Okay, off. You can say whatever you want. The moment somebody says, okay, the N-word's okay, get ready. You're not going to believe it. Because people have been wanting to say, I don't know why, but once they get that word, we're this far when they say, okay, guess the force field, the kryptonite, third rail Israel protection is over. Let her rip. Watch what happens. Sparky says, think Soros, think CIA. Soros himself is tongue-in-cheek about being seen as the puppeteer, but he's long had a symbiotic association with the CIA. Sparky, I cannot in any way fight with you. Remember what I'm telling you. If you know the name they're not involved. Soros loves being Soros. Loves it. Loves the intrigue. Loves when he shows up to Davos. Alex, his son. That name is like Rothschild. Oh my God. Oh. Rockefeller. You know what it's like when you're in New York society and your name is, there's a bunch of them, and your name is, what is your name? Hi, I'm Cameron Rockefeller. Cameron? You're with the Rockefellers? Oh, yes, I am. Wow. There's a bunch of them, and you'll run into them every now and then. It's that name. Used to be Kennedy. Now Kennedy means shit. Doesn't mean anything. Especially after that Schlossberg punk. If he's not in rehab or a psych ward, I will kiss your ass. This guy's off the chains. And guess who they're turning on? Caroline and that husband. Because Caroline, who thought her shat didn't stink, she says, she was never like she was always from that, we're from the Jackie side. Jackie even told her kids, stay away from the Kennedys. See, Bobby Kennedy's got a chip on his shoulder. They're from like Bobby's kids at Hickory Hill. There's like 30 of them or whatever. They're running around. They're all anyway. That's a different story. Focus, Uncle Lenny. Focus. I will. I'll do my best. But what I'm saying is, I was never there the moment that disco ended. I was never there the moment that platform shoes or I don't know. I am here seeing the end and the transition that has occurred right now. Do you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? This is the most important. This is the most important thing in the world. This is so critical. I don't know how to tell you this. It's just so critical. What we're seeing right now. Okay, so that's over there. Please focus on this. And I don't know if Trump, I can't read Trump anymore. I don't even pretend to read him. I don't understand him. I love the guy. I want him to do well because I have no choice. You know, sometimes I got to be honest. When I say I love Trump, it's like, well, who else am I going to love? There's nobody else. What am I going to do? Who, Biden? I don't know. Okay, you got it? Okay. So you got that. You got that? Okay. Now, geoengineering. Tonight, Dane Wigington for the hour. WABC. Make sure you listen. It is a monster. He is the Mac Daddy, the big shot. He is it. Just like Bradley Oplin is, who says, JFK was betrayed in Dallas, not just by Oswald, but by a system built on silver. Judas sold Christ. The lobby sells America. Same currency, same spirit. Bradley, I love you, man. But if you think he was killed because of silver, that's like saying a cake is made of sugar. True, but that's a part of it. True. Bradley, you and many others, and I myself included, love an answer. We love an answer. Why is autism going up? Give me an answer. One answer. Don't give me a bunch of stuff. Don't say, well, it's this and no. Give me an answer. One answer. Is it the vaccine? Is it older? What is it? Well, okay. No. Give me one answer. People love this. It's critical. Sparky says, you can see in interviews over the years that it's all George Soros can do to keep from bursting out in laughter. He loves it because he has been told first that he can speak. Remember something. This is the most important thing in the world. If he was not allowed to speak, if he in any way was risking folks finding out what was happening, he would be shut down immediately. You understand what I'm saying? Do you see this? Cut Up Chatter says, those few who dearly love me and survived the COVID pruning look at me with apology in their eyes, and I highly value them. I am grateful to be alive. I am grateful to be alive as well, and I think I've got some of these. I get a few of these through my time, when maybe not like in your case, but somebody says, you were right about that. You were right about that. Oh, I know I'm right. Oh, I know I'm right. And it's very difficult sometimes. I'll tell you, when I'm not sure about something, I'll think, well, I don't know. Maybe. We don't know yet. But thank you for that, COVID. I mean, COVID. Just let me, forgive me. God, got up. George Soros is never going to be allowed to speak unless somebody says, that's okay. If George Soros ever gets, if he, you know who Tony Moretti is, right? Tony Moretti was the mobster who reportedly held the gun to, was it Tommy Dorsey's head? He was the make him an offer you can't refuse, and the Godfather. That was Tony Moretti. And Tony Moretti was the guy who told Sinatra, I don't want you to divorce Nancy. We don't divorce. You can have a Gumara or a Gumar, as they always say. Gumar. What is that? Anyway. When Tony Moretti started to get syphilis, or he was affected by the tertiary syphilis, because remember in those days they didn't know how to treat it. People were going crazy neurologically. They said, that's it, and they took him out. He was about to testify, and they took him out. And he was, I think he was in Jersey or someplace, I don't know, just some broth house, or boom, got him right there. That's the same thing with Soros. If Soros ever says something without getting approval of the commission, so to speak, so they like that. And one of the things they love about Soros is that he enjoys doing it. He can be their front man. Klaus Schwab. What do you think Klaus Schwab is? Klaus Schwab is out of Central Cast. Yeah, let him do that. Notice Klaus is kind of shut down for a little bit. He's quiet now. Klaus Schwab with those weird kind of a Star Trek outfits. Remember that this kind of stuff? He was weird. Anyway, he was allowed to say this. He would never be allowed to speak unless they got the okay. Cut Up says, they yet do not wish to discuss it. They smile, and I honor them with less. We demonstrate respect by what we expect. Love is evident always. You should write for not cards, but for these people who love, like Jordan Peterson, not for him, but people who love kind of Marcus Aurelius type of philosophy. That's very good. Those respect that which you do not say, but that which you know. It's like almost Cochise or Native American. The power that one has is never shown. It is presented in, for what? But we got it. Thank you. So this is going on right now. And I see all the moving parts. But I'm trying to get people to move. Nobody's moving. It's like if you're a DJ at a wedding and nobody's dancing, they can say, great music. It's fantastic. DJs at weddings know exactly what it is. Talk to a DJ. First drink, play this. Second drink, ABBA. Third drink, Who Let the Dogs Out, or whatever else. DJs, and they talk about it. They have a list. Play this, play that. This works like a charm. Believe me. Like a charm. DJs at weddings are just there. That's kind of what we need to be. We need to be the DJ. Cut Up says, the Sentinel's job may pay, but it's expensive. Boy, you are just, oh my God. I can see you wearing a headdress with a glow behind it, like an aura, standing on a mountain looking out. Grasshopper, when you can take the ear pod from my ear, then you will know the truth. I like that. Now, CIA. First and foremost, Americans, like I said, they're sitting down, they're not drunk yet. They don't do anything. They're saying, oh, CIA. When was this? This is 62 years ago we're looking at? 62 years ago? 62. John Kennedy, 62 years. And what exactly would you like me to know? Well, I want you to know that there's he's a such a really 62 years ago. 62 years ago. And I'm supposed to care about this? Yes. And you haven't gotten around to it in 62 years? No. And there are these people. There's one guy in particular. He is such an asshole. I'm not going to mention his name. But he thinks he is the smartest guy. There's this cadre of JFK assassination scholars, and they think they are the bee's knees, and they say nothing. Nothing. Oh, they'll talk to you about things like Peyton, the landlady, Oswald's landlady, actually Marina's CIA helper, CIA decoder. No, Marina's aunt worked with Alan Dulles' cousin, and they do this, and they don't tell you anything. No, Tippett, it wasn't the 38. The 38 that he had wasn't the same service revolver that was issued to him by, and they think that they're geniuses. And I'm saying, excuse me, this doesn't help me with anything. I've got to solve the murder. I'm in the homicide team. I don't know where you are. What are you talking about? If ever you want to tell somebody about something, remember this. How do you explain this to a jury? CIA PsyOp agent contacted Oswald before the JFK hit. What does that mean? Nothing. Does that prove anything? Is there anybody here who does not know that Lee Harvey Oswald was connected to organized crime and the CIA? Anybody not know that? This guy Gerald Posner is my favorite. He's the only one who had a book called Case Closed. He's the smartest one there is. His idea is, I'm going to take the attitude of he acted alone. He acted alone. I'm actually going to say that. I'm going to say he acted alone. He acted alone. What are you talking about? Acted alone? Yeah. Because I'm the only one saying that. It's the best. They always get me. I'm always booked because I'm saying something nobody believes because it's bullshit. But I'm the only one saying it. Okay? You see how that works? In this world that we live in, anybody who says that. I was listening to Alex, and he had somebody from Rasmussen. Rasmussen poll said, well, for the first time, 87% of Republicans want us to bomb Iran. What does that have to do with it? We're going to put it to a vote? If we always put it to a vote, we would have never gotten rid of slavery. I got news for you. Because most people during the Civil War, they didn't have slaves. Slavery was important. We needed slaves. Why? Because we were selling cotton to Europe. I don't want to get into that stuff, but so this is nonsense. But let me go back to what I'm saying. So what we're talking about is you have these people, and they're like sleight of hand. They're distractors. Oh, this one guy says, I've got all the books. I know exactly. I go to all the seminars and all of the meetings, and they meet. I'll tell you who are really good. If you ever go to a 9/11 group, those guys are good. Remember when nothing ever has been better than loose change. I got a picture I met with Dylan Avery one time, and Dylan Avery is still the best. Loose change was holy shit. That was the monster. That was how much? Loose change. When did loose change come out? Loose change for 9/11. Loose change was 2005. No, yeah, 2005. 20 years ago. Think about this. Just incredible. 4 years after 2005 and then 2009. 4 years after 9/11. It's still the best. Where is he, by the way? I don't know. I don't know where he is. Hope he's okay. Incredible, my friends. Just wild. It's wild. Anyway, so going back to this, there's a lot of us around here, a lot of us, who love to say things. And when we talk to people, many of us love to pretend like we know the dirt. We know the dirt. I'm best able to put together maybe a circumstantial case here and there, but that's kind of about it. I'm not really, I'll tell you when it's clean and it's not. But let me tell you something, remember, about JFK. And we'll get to the Axios in a moment. The most important bit of evidence you need to tell somebody is simply this. Imagine this right here. This is a microphone, okay? But this is a microphone, and this is the front of the windshield. And on this side of the windshield is JFK and Jackie, and then Nellie Connolly and John Connolly and the driver and the whatever. Okay, this is the windshield. Car's going this way. Here's the windshield, and they're back here. Okay, there is a bullet that came this way. There's some argument where it hit either the frame or something, but it went in. There's a hole this way. Do me a favor, go to ChatGPT, research it, look it up. The windshield was removed. The car was sent to the Ford motor. It was a Continental, remember at the time? They replaced it. Replaced the windshield. Replaced it. of a murder scene. If a bullet's coming this way, there is your conspiracy. That's it. End of discussion. End of discussion. Sparky says, when I joke we needed to fly a Ukraine, Israel, and American flags from our pontoon boats for our 4th of July family gathering, my Gen Z nephew said, you know, you were right about all that stuff. Isn't that great? And what you should say, Sparky, to your Gen Z stuff is, you know why you know that, right? Don't feel bad because you're a kid. There are people like this who believe this stuff. But let me remember this. Remember the one fact, before I forget, just tell them this. You can talk about the FBI, CIA, explain the bullet hole, that's it. Did you know about that? Look it up. That's it. And I love Lucien Sarti. It's my favorite because maybe it's because I got a picture. He was born in France. He was a Corsican hitman. He loved uniforms. He had a frangible bullet. I want to know who the actual shooters were. I don't give a shit about the Lee Harvey Oswald's, the woman the landlady. I don't care about that. Came in through from France, Corsican, who connected, by the way, to Carlos Marcello. Remember, the mob was big, and the mob and the CIA were like this since World War II. You're never going to see it again. You know these poor jadruls they have talking to. You ever see these mob? These mob platforms. It's really sad. I mean, it's sad. Those guys couldn't hold a candle to people like Santo Trafficante and Carlos Marcello. But they came in through Mexico, up, I forget where they crossed, into Dallas, and they waited maybe a month, maybe hung around, went down. Remember, they tried it in Tampa, Miami. This was not the only attempt. This was repeatedly done. Oh yeah, don't forget that they wanted him out. This is how good they were. But maybe there were units, teams. I couldn't tell you. But they look around and they go there, and supposedly Sarti said, "Yep, this is it. This is perfect. He's coming this way. Oh yeah." On a wooden boat, I could put the rifle there. I can use it as, this is great. I wear a uniform, a badge. Remember Badge Man? He was killed in 1972 by the cops in Mexico City. He was it's beautiful. That's what I want to know. I want to know the actual shooters themselves. Where were they? Where were they? Who were they? What were their names? We don't know. We just don't know. But that was it. That was the closest one, maybe, because at least, and you can argue, but it was a name. The first time, Woody Harrelson's father, was it? That guy with that crazy, what's his name, with the ponytail? Yeah, I was there because I used this round and I bit the. Okay, well, whatever. But the real assassins, they're not talking. They don't go on TV because you just don't do it. Or maybe at some point somebody says, you know what, I don't really care one way or the other. I really don't care one way or the other. But the bottom line is something about this. And this is where it's the most important. How do we get people to not care or to care? My friends, we have not talked about our friends in a while who have a solution for many of you. You know, we talk about how great everything is. There's a lot of people who are really not doing well at all financially, and they are scared, and they are up to their elbows in debt. What do? Where do they go? Try this. Are you drowning in debt, struggling with credit cards or medical bills or personal loans? Well, you're not alone. There's help, real help available right now. National Debt Relief is one of the top-rated debt relief companies in America, helping thousands of individuals like you break free from overwhelming financial burdens. For anyone owing over $10,000, National Debt Relief may be able to reduce that debt by up to half or even more. No bankruptcy, no new loans, just a smarter, faster way to financial freedom. Now, here's how it works. Step 1, you submit the form at No Debt with Lionel. Just go there right now. Step 2, a representative will call within minutes to discuss personalized options. In step 3, they'll create an affordable plan tailored to your individual budget and timeline. Many clients become debt-free in as little as 24 to 48 months, paying less than they owe and avoiding years of stress and interest. And the consultation is completely free with no obligation. So what are you waiting for? Why keep dodging calls and watching interest stack up? So go right now to NoDebtWithLionel.com. That's NoDebtWithLionel.com. This could be the turning point, the step toward peace of mind, control, and a fresh start. NoDebtWithLionel.com. Go now. All right, my friends. So we're at this stage where we're wondering what's going on. Will anybody ever find out about JFK? No. And the reason why is, most importantly, it's not so much that we won't find the information, but that if we did find the information, Americans don't really care about it. And I want to tell you something which is important, and I want you to listen to me carefully. Of those individuals that you know as, let's say, conservatives, where do you think they receive most of their information from? Where do you think? Let me ask you a very simple question. Very, very, very simple question. Where do you think most of your friends who are considered, I mean, it might be you too, who are considered conservative, where do they get their information from? Where do you think? They shouldn't take too long. Where do you think they do? Fox News. The local news outlet, that's where most people get their news, from the local news. Where do you think so? Fox? Look at this. JFK finally died on August 2nd, 2020, and was buried under the name of Russell Pickett. So he would have been 102. Is that it? Fox News, the neighbor. I Don't Kiss and Tell. This is Gary trying to be funny. Social media. Most of your friends, social media. Most Republicans get their information on social media. Where do you think so? Where do most people get them? What do you think so? Where do you think? Where? What do you think? Come on, this isn't tough. Where do people, including the president, get their news from? National news, international news. Where? This isn't tough. Where? 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 Where do you know what I'm talking about? This is the most difficult thing. Where do Republicans get their news from? Where? No, they don't get TikTok, sorry. TICTOC, no. Multiple outlets, no, they don't. Where do Republicans get their news from? Nope. Come on. Come on. Fox. Yes. Fox. Fred says, I get mine from scrolling. No, Fred. We're not talking about you. I love you, Fred. Where do Republicans get their news from? Where do you think? President Trump talks to news reporters every day. He talks to them. Where does he get his information from? Where? Fox. Fox News. No, not Newsmax. I hate to say it. No. Not really. It's Fox. Bloomberg? No. Fox. Where do his people come from? Fox. He loves Fox. That's like a lot of people do. They just think Fox is great. It's probably the most contaminated news information there is. Let me give you an analogy. Let's assume you are suspicious that your spouse is fooling around on you. You're concerned whether your spouse, let's assume, this is called an analogy. And analogies normally don't go well because most people can't follow the analogy or what the purpose of an analogy is. But I'm going to try because I think you're smarter than most people. So you're suspicious of it. And there's a person who is telling you information. There's a woman. And the woman says, listen, I don't want to tell you upset you, but I think your wife is having an affair. And she's having an affair with that guy. And what I'm saying is she's acting. And your wife even told me some things. And it gets you very upset. And you mistakenly trust this person. The person who's telling you the bad information, the person who's misleading you. Well, it turns out it's not true. But because the person who's telling you actually has designs on you and wants you to leave your wife so that you will be available so she, assuming it's a man or woman, or maybe can be with you. See what I'm saying? So her ulterior motive is not to tell you the truth, but to lie to you. To lie to you. See what I'm saying? That's Fox News. What is their goal? Is their goal to tell you the truth? No. Their goal is to feather their own nest and propound, perpetuate, and promote the idea, the worldview, the targeted worldview of Rupert Murdoch. 100% correct. 100%. See what I'm saying? Rupert Murdoch. And that could be, it could be the Israel lobby, or it could be defense, it could be whatever you want to think that is. And as long as you understand that, as long as you recognize that, this is where they are, this is how powerful they are. And don't ever mislead them, and don't ever tell me, well, we don't care about you. I know people ever say, well, I don't believe that for a moment. Well, I don't like Hannity. I don't care about you. People love them. They love Hannity. They hang on every word. And the president's worldview comes from that. The president's worldview is very interesting. He loves this, and I say this with all due respect, this little boy military. He loves to play soldier. He loves to see the stealth bomber with B1, B2, I don't know what the hell it is. But he just loves that. Magnificent. And we're going to blow him up real good. And he tells a story about how we, by virtue of bunker busters and UB, whatever it was, that we destroyed, absolutely knocked out of whack Iran's nuclear capabilities. Do you believe that? Do you believe that? I don't. Not for a moment. Not for a moment. But this is who he is. And he loves this. 4th of July, flying over. He loves it. He loves the hat. He loves that military thing. He loves the salute. Remember, he was in the military. He was in military school. Say he was very good. He loves sir. He loves when they call him sir. And he just loves that stuff. And that's good because you got to love it, I guess, to an extent. Others didn't. Nixon wasn't into this kind of thing. LBJ was like he compartmentalized. Hitler, I'm not trying to make a comparison, but sometimes leaders, they micromanage these things. But this is where we are right now. And they believe in this stuff. And they got a bunch of people that the president has to deal with. And one of them says, Mr. President, yeah, I know you don't like the CIA. I know nobody likes the CIA. But if you want to learn anything about what's going on, you're going to need the CIA. If you want to find out what Iran's doing or not doing or what Putin's doing or whatever it is, or what your enemies are doing or what whoever, or what dirt they have on you, and whether were you connected with Epstein? I don't know. We don't think so, but how do I know? So what they're saying is, Mr. President, it would be probably the best thing for you to do not to become, please, do not become too much the enemy of the CIA. Okay? So you can tell that lunatic chick in Florida and others, you can talk all day long about JFK, but you are not going to make the CIA look bad. You are not going to make them look bad. You are not going to in any way violate their good name. You got that? You're not going to do that. So you can have all the you can have all the Axios articles you wanted, Alex Jones, but we highly advise that you don't embarrass us. Even though this happened 62 years ago, it's still our good name. You got that? So don't expect anything really glaring to come out regarding the CIA. And the CIA also loves to be able to tell you, we tell you what's important, not you. We tell you, not you. We tell you. You don't get to pick and choose. You don't reveal who we are. You don't embarrass us. Don't do this. It's not a good idea. So just remember, this is good stuff. Yeah, he was a part of whatever it was. Nobody is interested in this. Look at Bobby Kennedy. Bobby Kennedy is the most lukewarm when it comes to who killed his father. What do you think that's about? Then Eugene Caesar. Sparky says, I still suspect there were several unconnected conspiracies to eliminate JFK for potentially shaking up established norms, affecting different entrenched political parties with selfish motivation. I think that goes probably without saying. I think you're right about that. Issue number 1. Did Lee Harvey Oswald act alone? No. Issue number 2. Did Lee Harvey Oswald act at all? I believe, you could call that a hypothesis if this works for you, absolutely not. He had nothing to do with it. Nothing. the nest, nothing. Oh, he might have been a commie. Oh, he might have known this one. Oh, he might. No. They set him up perfectly. The narrative was driven with, if you think control over the media is big now, you don't know this. Mockingbird was in full force. They knew everything. They controlled. They had the script written. Put him there. Sparky says, powerful entities, not political parties. No, that's all right. Well, no, I didn't say political parties. Powerful entities. So let's just go through it logically. Somebody wanted him dead. I do not believe it was Lee Harvey Oswald. I don't believe Lee Harvey Oswald was it at all. In order to remember, there were 3 different. Tampa was the other one for sure. That didn't work out. Might have been Miami too. But then there were others. This was not the only one. You know that, right? You know that. Had the other ones had been successful, it would have been another player. It wouldn't have been Oswald. It would have been another person. It would have been another story. This was the 3rd one that took. There's a lot of planning involved in this. A lot of planning. Planning from people who just got done planning this thing called World War II. Okay? So let's just we know this. We can sit there and say, I believe there were people who wanted JFK killed. Yes, of course. No shit. Yeah. Because he didn't act on his own. There were other people. Why? Knock yourself out. I don't give a shit. Who cares why? Seriously, who cares? What do I care? I'm a prosecutor. I don't care why they killed the old lady. They killed her. Did you kill him? Yeah. Did you intend to kill him? That's it. I'm happy. Why means nothing to me. I don't care. You might find that interesting. Maybe. The why part you'll never figure out, because the why means a lot of people didn't want him. JFK hated, J. Edgar Hoover hated him. LBJ hated him. Everybody hated him. Joint Chiefs of Staff, CIA, Allen Dulles. Go down the list. You know how many people hate Trump? You want to go? You want to start with that? You know how many people hated Biden? You know how many people hate America? You know how many countries said death to America? You want to spend your time? Does that mean something to you? Knock yourself out. I don't have time for that. That's a given. Of course. No shit. Okay, fine. Whatever. Moving right along. Okay, you got this? You see, Americans don't have that fire. Doesn't mean anything. And because people just have this, they love just to sit back and say crazy stuff about it. They just say things that are not even, there's no basis for it. They just say things. Jackie Kennedy had him killed. What? Oh, it was Lyndon Johnson, Mac Wallace. No, it wasn't. Sparky says, seems like they would have at least chosen a patsy who could drive. Oswald spent his 10 years in New York City where knowing how to drive wasn't so common. Yeah. Well, he didn't need to know how to drive. He just kind of, Oswald was important because of fair play to Cuba and this and that. It was, if you're interested in the cover. But the cover doesn't make. They could have picked anybody. They would create the cover afterwards. You could just pick a guy, then whoever they catch, that's it. But they're in charge of the narrative. But here's the thing. What everybody misses is the reluctance of people to find the truth. You see, when people go to magic shows, they want to be entertained. Their goal is not to figure out how it happened. In fact, they don't want to know. In fact, magicians will tell you, we don't ever tell you the secret. Americans don't want to know this. They don't have any interest in this. They're not interested in this. It's like, okay, well, whatever. They've been hearing so many conspiracies, 9/11. They just, this breed of American just doesn't, it's like the alligator that's not afraid of people anymore. Teen years, not 10 years. You don't have to. But thank you for worrying enough about what you write. Americans don't care about this stuff. Oh, we do. Alex Jones does. Luna carried, but not really. Nobody's chopping at the bit. Even the Kennedy family, none of them. But that's where all that USAID money came from. Oh, they paid everybody. Don't think the money's all gone. It's still there. And where is Elon Musk? Where's Elon? Where's Elon going? Where's Elon going? Look at this. Imagine spending all your time worrying about if your Manchurian candidate can obtain a driver's license or not. No, that's not what we're talking about. The thing is that once the argument was made and once it was given, that's it. Americans believed in COVID because they saw a picture of a ping pong ball with cloves sticking out. And that was it. And they saw this thing that Americans will believe anything, especially social media. I mean, you don't understand how gullible we are, but also we're not interested. There's no fire in our belly. It doesn't mean anything to tell them, don't you understand your government killed the president? Yeah, well, Trump probably had at least three murder conspiracies, and nobody cares about that. And we'll just sit around and with social media, they sit around and go, you know, I think it was Mac Wallace. Yeah, I think so. I think Roger Stone, who was a great American, by the way. I think Roger Stone's right. It's Mac Wallace. LBJ killed his sister, Josepha. Remember him? Killed her. No, I think Jackie did. What? I think Jackie did. I think the Russians did. I think the mob did. I think Blakey's right. And they're sitting there saying, please keep talking about it more. Please tangle up the Gordian knot even more. Tangle it. No correcting you in both cases. I'm correcting you in both cases. A single word can change my meaning. That's right. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate the fact that you would even care as to what your meaning is. But you see, Sparky, what we're missing is, how do we get people to care? I told you at first, I got to get people on the dance floor. I'm the DJ. I'm not just playing music. I don't want to just sit back and go, oh, okay. I want people to get out and vote and pick up the phone and get upset and call and write. There's another thing people don't care about. Oh, red dye number 6 causes bladder cancer. Oh, I'll be damned. Masks didn't work. Is that right? They didn't work? So it was all bullshit? I'll be a son of a gun. Ha! Brad Rung said 50 Cent, Brian Bozen, 50, actor writer Jennifer Saunders, 67, Jeffrey Rush, 74, Sylvester Stallone, 79, former President Bush, 79. There you go. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Make says, what do the chemicals being sprayed have to do with not caring? It's interesting. That's interesting. Maybe there's something to that. I don't know. It's a hypothesis. Maybe there's a certain degree of a laxity. Now, by the by, do you think people made JFK Jr. disappear like our dead mother Lizzie Solak says? Do you think there's any? Could be. I'm not. That doesn't ring any bells for me. Could be. No. Remember when they said that JFK was alive? JFK Jr. was alive? That was my favorite. I said, what are you talking about? There he is. What was this? I forget the guy's name, but there he is. There's that guy. What? There he is. Because he loved that song and he and Trump were friends and he wanted to run against Hillary and he's been alive. And is Lauren Bissett alive too? And her sister? And what? People just say stuff. They just, well, I think, and we love to do it, I think they killed him because, you know, he knew too much. JFK Jr., what? Yeah. That's the ticket. They killed him because, he would have been, he would have been president and would have unleashed. Yeah. What? We're not writing a script. We're not sitting around a writer's table and saying, okay, here, try this one out. Caroline was the one who had the brother killed because she, okay, stop. Because people will just say stuff just to say without ever thinking, does this make any sense to you? So going back to the JFK thing, it's very simple. Somebody wanted him dead, could have been whatever it was. But they all worked together at the highest levels. They just came off of World War II. Okay? Think about this. This was what, 18 years ago? 18 years. These folks were still, remember the Cold War was still going on, Gladio was going on, a lot of stuff. A lot of folks were still in the military. The military was bigger than ever. Everybody, every male, everybody there had been in the military. Remember when the first police officer said it was a Mauser versus a Manica Carcano and all this? There's all these, there's all these, and that's what the JFK, that's what the investigators do. They get together and they have these meetings and they just, well, I've got something, here's something, this is the official transcript, this is JFK's landlady's driving record, which apparently she never got a driver's license until after and I'm just making this up, but they'll just point out, oh, okay. And that means something. Just because an anomaly doesn't mean something. I told you this story years ago. We're looking at a inside of a it was a crime photo. I was talking to the detective. I don't know what it was, some second-degree murder. Nothing really big, but it was inside this kind of a small house. And there was a shoe. And I said, where's the other shoe? I wonder. I said, just like that shoe in the middle of the street. Remember you find a shoe in a street. You don't really see them anymore, but every now and then you see a shoe and where's the other shoe? When the other shoe fall? And the guy said, no, I don't know. So he went back and he actually looked. He looked to see where the other shoe was. He says, I don't know. I said, it doesn't matter. There are some anomalies that really don't mean anything. They're just, we don't know everything. I don't know why. Why would she have painted her fingernails before she was about to go on the line? I don't know. There's all this stuff. But our job is not to just come up with questions just for the because that's what the armchair conspiracist does. He just comes up with stuff just to say it. Well, Ben Gurion said, I want that nuclear bomb. So when Kennedy said no, they killed him. You think that's what it was? They killed him because he said no to the nuclear bomb. Does that make sense to you? Ben Gurion. To go through all this and get these people and work with, to have three different attempts. Remember Miami? I forget Miami for sure. No, Tampa, excuse me. Just all this. And to bring in Carlos Marcello and all these others, and Traficante and working in the Cubans and all this. Ben Gurion did this? Because of it? Well, it could be. Or he wanted to get us off of the silver, the gold standard or the silvers. I mean, there's always something. Well, he did say he was gonna splinter the CIA into 1,000 people. That was Alan Dulles. Now that may be something too, that in terms of an intent, but did Alan Dulles do this? We don't know. I'm sorry to break it to you, but those are good questions, but I don't know. But that's just it. America doesn't care. I can't get them off the dance floor. They're just sitting in their chairs. They don't care. They talk about things. Nothing really, they like sports and they like their, maybe their cable a little bit, or some I don't know. Some people like their Instagram. They don't care about this. That's all we're saying. There isn't, Maybe it's my generation. Maybe I'm the last generation where it matters. I don't know. I don't know. But it still means a lot to me. Big time. Big time. Make the dream. Big Dick from Chi-Town, thank you. Brad Rung, thank you. Sparky, you were outstanding today, young man. Outstanding. Cut Up Chatter, the Confucius of our channel, thank you so much. And Brad Oplin, I think I said thank you. Fred Haddad, gifting 10 memberships, thank you. What a time, what a time, what a time. All right, my friends, remember, please follow Mrs. L. July the 19th at the Cutting Room. Get your tickets now. I'm going to be there. Let's say hello, a hearty hello, and a high hello over. Let's meet. We have so much to talk about, even more so than last time. That's 2 weeks from yesterday. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Follow Mrs. L on Lynn's Warriors. Make sure you follow me on Lionel Nation. I did a great little bit about Bernays and Diddy, and ooh, it was very, very good. And then later on today, tune us for 6. Don't forget 1 a.m. The great Dane Wigington we're going to be doing an entire show on, well, not an entire show, but an hour on the latest developments regarding geoengineering. It's unbelievable. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. Do not ever change. Do not ever change. Okay, yeah. Remember what I'm telling you. And until we meet again, remember these words. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da, da.